Hey everyone, welcome to Maych TV. Look, I just want to drop a little update because obviously I put a video out the other week saying that I had coronavirus, and obviously I was on the mend and what have you. It's now been like 20 days, I think, since I posted that, and I'm still getting people sending, questions saying how you doing, etc, etc. So I just want to say, look, I'm here, I'm well. Things are far better than they were back then, and really just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who sent messages of support and what have you. And look, ultimately, there's people in far infinitely worse situations than I have been, so thanks for all that. But obviously, yeah, look, I'm in the scale of luck, would be far luckier never to have had it, but also in terms of, there's people who've had it and had it far worse, far worse than me. So yeah, ultimately, thank you very much and all that. But yeah, we are very much a lucky family when it comes to this, in our immediate family. I'm doing well, 2 weeks back at work now. That's fine. We're now coping with the world of what do you do when your entire livelihood is based around football, when you've built a massive YouTube channel up that follows Liverpool Football Club and all the exploits that happen there, and what you're supposed to do to keep that going in the absence of said football. The football clubs are trying to deal with this in their own ways. So yeah, we're having the knock-on drip-down effect of that, of course. But again, it all really pales into insignificance. I'm lucky, I'm feeling better. My wife's better. She was back to work today. She's a teacher, so she was back taking care of the kids of frontline workers today for the first time, which is mad because, that's... Every time you step out of the world, you realise how much normal has changed. There is a new normal, and what normal is so fluid and changes from day to day. If you've not been out the house in 2 weeks, the world that you're walking back into has changed significantly in that time. I was chatting on the Maych and Payjack podcast this week with Chris. He was 2 weeks after me because his wife was diagnosed positive corona as well. She's fine, by the way, and they're all fine too. Now, but yeah, how you go and shop has changed in that time. So yeah, we're all having to deal with a new variation on norm and what normal actually looks like in this time. But look, again, there's far more pressing things, and I just want to say thank you again. Thank you for all the messages. They're absolutely wonderful. They really were a massive lift, and it's insane. Look, I wanted to do the video to talk to people about this because I saw lots of people around that time. You're talking a month ago, really, when that's probably slightly more than a month ago, really, since I first had the symptoms, and it was a very new thing at the time, and there's lots of people who didn't have experience of it firsthand, and a lot of people still don't have firsthand experience of it. So I kind of wanted to share what it was like going through it, and now I just want to share the update saying everything's fine. But we're now living in a world where it's not an abstract concept anymore. The country's in as close to lockdown as it's probably likely to be, given that we've survived a relatively sunny weekend, I guess. Seeing the Prime Minister apparently go down with it as well. More and more people are experiencing it, and they're not just experiencing it, but the worst thing is they're experiencing death more firsthand, which is the thing that everyone's fearful of. And the thing that I find most upsetting about this whole thing is, having come out the other side, I'm incredibly grateful that I've come out of it the other side. Ultimately, I had mild symptoms. I was never bad enough to be taken to hospital. I was never bad enough to be on a respirator. I was never likely to die from it, ultimately, because I didn't have it as severe as some people are having it. But we're seeing people saying things about the death rate. People saying, well, the death rate could be falling, as though somehow 20 less people dying in a day than the day before is a really good thing. And from a top line sense, if you're in a medical, one of the chief medical officers for the country, and you're trying to contain the pandemic, those kind of numbers are important to you. But as humans, as people, it sickens me that we've started talking about people and we're just talking about these numbers. They themselves have become the abstract concepts here, not the idea of the virus, not the idea of people getting sick, but all of a sudden the amount of and the volume of people who are dying from this. I think my mother-in-law lost her father to coronavirus last week. Absolutely, utterly heartbreaking. And these are the things, you won't realise this unless it starts to impact you. And there's a chance it's going to start to impact more and more of us, and people will realise this as the days and weeks progress and what have you. But that's a dad, that's a grandparent, that's a great grandparent. David has gone from less so from our lives, because they're not a direct family, but there's people who are losing these people that they see on a daily basis. There's a man who loved flying model planes, and I loved that about him. I loved that he had that. I loved the warm, kind greetings that he would give us every single time we'd go and visit that side of the family. Just a lovely man. A great father, great grandfather, great grandfather, wonderful person. And if coronavirus didn't exist, he'd still be here. And that is absolutely sickeningly disgusting, because you end up in a world now where, you know, the family couldn't go and be there, family can't all be at the funeral, and that's genuinely the most, you know, disgusting thing about all this. And, you know, in addition to the fact that, you know, people who are throwing themselves out in the front line of this aren't being given the support that they need. And, you know, as much as going out and clapping at Thursday nights at 8 o'clock is a wonderful show of solidarity, it's a wonderful show of humanity, of community spirit, all things that we've been sorely lacking, I think, in the modern society. They're great, but, you know, and then we're being asked to, you know, to donate and prop up the NHS. The government needs to pull its finger out of its backside and make sure that people who are risking their lives, you know, there's doctors and nurses dying of this, there's going to be shop workers dying of this, there's going to be people who were considered unskilled workers just a few weeks ago, who were thought of as like the dregs of society, who were thought of as, you know, scum, compared to like the people who are put up on pedestals, the people who are put up, like the, you know, the people who earn the stupid money in the country. You know, you've got your bankers, you've got, you know, superstar athletes and all that, and this is not a dig on them, by the way, because, you know, self-made people are self-made people, but, you know, we respect the wrong people in this country, and we have done for too long. And what we're seeing now is genuine hard-working people. Not just, they do this stuff on a daily basis, they put themselves in hard way, particularly the doctors and nurses and what have you. And now it's become a really starkly obvious thing, because now there's a tangible way to judge it, and it's being judged by the people who are contracting this virus and dying from it. It's a terrifying world that we live in, and all we can really do at this point is make sure that we don't lose our heads and lose sight of the important things, to people in this. That these aren't numbers, these aren't just X number of doctors and nurses, these aren't faceless individuals, these are human beings like you and me who have a different skill set. Look, I'm a lucky moron. I get to sit around and make videos and chat my mind and watch football. Not now, but obviously in general. For other people, it's calling. It's a calling. We're all cowards. We're sitting at home, you know, doing our bit by sitting at home and watching Netflix and you know, not going to the shops as often and not seeing family. What fucking heroes we are. No, you know, there's real people out there who are putting their lives at risk without proper protective wear, who are going into it because it's their con, because they have a sense of duty, because they have a sense of care to the rest of the world, to individuals and society as a whole, on varying degrees. As I say, this is at the top end. You've got your doctors and nurses, but you've got all the people who are manning shops, who are stacking shelves. You've got people who are going out there trying to keep this country running, society running, while there's, you know, MPs being paid 10 grand so they can work at home. As far as I'm concerned, it's ridiculous. But yeah, look, us in an individual sense, we've got to remember that we're not listening to government advice, we're listening to professional medical advice when we try to do this, when we're doing the self-isolation thing. And it's hard that a big thing of this, again, on the Maych and Payjack podcast this week, we've all turned into social distancing Nazis, and we can't help but go, every time we go out in public, and I do it, I'm just as guilty as everyone. Who are they? Who are they with? How far apart are they? Those kind of things. That we shouldn't be too judgmental to the best of our abilities of other people. We should remember that we're all in this together, apart, if that makes sense. And as I say, stay as close as we physically can, emotionally support, in whatever supportive sense we can be, to people who are struggling with this far more than we are. As I say, I am lucky. My immediate family are lucky. My slightly more distant family, not lucky at all, horrendous. And there's plenty of people who are suffering in these ways. There's going to be plenty more people who are going to die from this, and we all need to make sure that we don't lose sight of that these people are remembered, that their stories are told, that we remember the good things, and also we don't let the people who are responsible for this, and I don't mean, because look, it's a virus, but I mean the people who are not putting the best plans in place to make sure these things, every time a doctor dies or a nurse dies, someone's responsible for that, as far as I'm concerned. But look, in a very small way, we've all got to remember as well that we're all in the same boat here. Don't forget that we all have good days and we all have bad days, and that's the important thing, the most important thing, because I came out of 2 weeks of lying in bed and feeling like death warmed up, and I was just pleased to be able to freely move around or whatever, just pleased to be able to go back to doing some relatively normal things like shopping and you know, and taking part in the house and looking after the kids and all that kind of stuff, and being able to see that, you know, having those people close to me has been immensely supportive, as well as, again, the support of the people on the YouTube channel, and people have tweeted me, etc, etc. Getting a random mention off Jurgen Klopp in there in any way, shape or form either, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, honestly, you know, in these situations, you can't beat yourself up. You've got to just try your very best. You can climb the walls, you can beat yourself up, you can have an amazing day, and you can congratulate yourself for it, and then you can have a bad day. There's no such thing as having infinite good days. You're gonna, hopefully it all balances out. Hopefully you can have more good days than bad, but don't over congratulate yourself for having an amazing day. Enjoy the amazing days the best you can. Enjoy the weather as best you can when it's nice. Soak up the good things and try not to be too down when the down times happen, because we're all having them. We all put across a really positive version of things, whether they're doing really well with the kids on one particular day, or we're doing great activities, or we're having our nice walks in really sunny backdrops and all that kind of stuff. But let's not escape this. This is hard. This is very, on a normal societal basis, and there's people struggling more than us, but we're all having our own issues. Isolation is causing mental health issues, and we need to make sure we're aware of that. And we can't combat all of these things. We can just try not to be so hard on ourselves in a variety of ways, and do the best we can to keep ourselves smiling, to keep in contact with people that we love, to make sure that they keep smiling, to take care of ourselves in the only ways that are physically capable, accessible to us at the moment. So yeah, weird one. Thank you very much for everyone who's obviously, again, once again, for sending the messages. I can't put into words how great it's been. I genuinely didn't expect it. I mean, look, the video did like 500,000 views. It's ridiculous. Who knew? Who knew? Maybe that was the key to YouTube success all along, is just contract, in the news viruses. Maybe that was, no, honestly not. But listen, if you want to support what I do on the channel, if you want me to get back to doing the other bits and pieces, if you enjoy the other bits and pieces, then go to patreon.com/Maych and help support. That's fine. More chat, more behind the scenes videos, photos, extra content, etc, etc. And the Maych and Page podcast is what me and Chris are doing as a side thing. If all the football stuff goes away forever and ever, we might only have this channel and that channel and his food channel. So if you like them, do go and subscribe to them and watch the stuff and share them as well. It's much appreciated in a very, very strange time. As I say, look, as far as things go, I genuinely can't complain about how things are going. As far as I'm going, I've got my health, I've got my family, but yeah, massive thoughts and loves and upbeat feelings going out to all the people who are having a real struggle in this time, because you guys don't let it get you down. Try to be your best, and yeah, keep smiling to the best of your ability. Take it easy, guys. Speak to you all soon. Ta-ra.